Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Really looking forward to this particular mid-month collective because there are so many things that are going on between just this past week. We had that solar eclipse. Of course, we're in retrograde. We had a new moon, and now we're in a waxing crescent. And I really want to help us today navigate a lot of these sort of celestial movements that I'm sure are affecting you, bringing up new opportunities, but also possibly triggering some of the emotions and just sort of like old karmic energy that we can hopefully navigate through and make the most of. I'm going to put Apollo down so we can talk because we have a lot to talk about today. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, by the way, if you're brand new here. You joined on a great time, a great day, because everybody's welcome today. Everybody's always welcome. But today we're going to be focusing on collective messages. So the way that this works is a little bit different than my usual setup. What we'll be doing today is we'll begin with the channeled messages, and I have all of those written on the table in front of me like I usually do. And then we'll move from the collective channeled messages to Celtic cross, which is going to pick up on the general energy that we're all existing in right now. So one thing that I do different from other readers is I'm not going to sit and go through 12 zodiac signs. Everybody that showed up today is going to get the same sort of energetic read because we're in this together. That's what a collective reading is about. So I'll look at the collective energy and collective messages for all of us at the beginning. And then we're going to work on looking at all of those celestial influences that I just mentioned, especially the wake of the new moon, because we're now, like I said, waxing crescent is starting to go toward a full moon. This is the time to really make change happen. And so we'll look at what opportunities are presenting themselves. And then I'll do what I call a mini read, where I look at past, present, future, usually like 3 card pulls. And then I might do a couple series of those to look at how we can ease into change and what might actually be causing challenges from past, present, and future influences. And by the time I get to that, we should have a big sort of idea of what the overall theme energetically is. So I might pull some additional cards at that point. This is very fluid. It kind of changes as I go through it, and it depends like who's showing up here. So I'm so excited to see where it brings us. We'll have a meditation at the end, and the meditation is going to help us as well kind of ease into change and open up possibilities. And I think this month, one of the things that we want to be looking at again is believing in ourselves, having the power to manifest, because with this sort of point in time, it's important to be able to sort of plant new seeds. So the way that I create these mid-month and end-of-month collectives is they're kind of here to help you through to the next reading that I'm going to do for you. So if you've already had your sun or moon or rising or Venus sign, and there's a little bit to wait, this is going to be what will help you. And it's designed for here and now, where a lot of mine are for the month ahead. So that's why these are kind of cool. If you need something right now, you joined at the right time. So let's get started. I'd like to welcome both Maria and Dakota, who are helping me moderate today. And just a couple quick notes before I get started. If you like what you see, I'm going to be using some new decks today, including one that I'm excited to show you here. We'll save it for in a second here, but I'll be using some new decks. They're all thanks to your support. So if you like what you see and you like some of the new decks, you can show support, completely optional, by the way, by clicking on the super chat. Also, a free way to show support, and it helps a lot, is simply to hit like and subscribe. So if you like what you see here, again, optional, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see this again, hit the subscribe button, because you don't want to depend on the YouTube algorithm. It takes forever sometimes for me to circulate through everything. On replay, you can also use the applaud feature. All right, I'll talk a little bit more about where you can find me and all of that jazz in a little bit, but let's focus now on the messages, which is why you came here. So we're going to start with your spirit totem. Give me 1 second to get this set up. And we'll get into this. So your spirit totem today, which is basically just something in nature that inspired me as I was tuning into your sign. I don't think we've done this one before. This is new. We've had a lot of new ones coming through. So, okay. It just went to sleep here. But it's the parrot. And to me, the parrot is really cool because it reminds me a lot of like the... for me, it's kind of, it shows all the sort of bright colors available to us. It's like every color in the spectrum, like the peacock, right? So it's bright, it's sometimes a little bit loud, it's very adaptive. And your bird today is the parrot. Let me see if I can find a brighter one. I'm always amazed at the different colors that they have. Like there are some that are really, really, really bright. So parrots are beautiful. And yeah, it came to me this morning as I was walking the dog. So let's talk about how that's going to relate to everybody that shows up. By the way, whether you're watching this live or later on replay, still will apply to you, so don't worry. And yes, this is available after the reading, so don't worry if you join late, because you'll be able to watch the rest later. So just stick around whenever you join. All right, so spirit totem today is the parrot. They are among the most intelligent birds, right along with crows, ravens, jays, which I think are in Corvidae. I don't know how you say that, but basically they're very smart. And rather than, I would say, or like instead of the calls that you would see with crows and ravens, they actually are able to mimic human voices, which we'll talk about in a second. So I would say they might even be a step above because they have that imitation gene as well. What I like about the parrots, because of the intelligence message here, is that you can really think your way through anything. And we're going to embrace the very positive energy of like Seven of Cups. I think if you can just stay calm, talk it out, and think it through, then especially bouncing ideas off someone else, something cool can happen. I don't know about you, but sometimes if I'm trying to prepare for something, if I'm nervous, or if I can't quite kind of figure out why something isn't working out, if I can just get on the phone and talk to a friend and talk it out a little bit, the feedback that happens between the two of us, and sometimes even as I'm saying it, I'll know if something sounds logical or if it sounds kind of like it's way out in left field. So having that verbal kind of like feedback and conversation with someone that you trust, that's going to be really important this month in working out problems. So vocalization, talking it out, talking to yourself, practicing a speech before you give it, all of these things are essential. So do yourself a favor and do that extra bit of preparation. You're going to thank me for it. And what I was talking about with the Seven of Cups here is if you ever think of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith illustration, you'll see a guy that's looking at a bunch of cups floating in the sky. And what you want to do with this is to make sure that you don't discount any idea until you see the big picture. There is something good about that card. Sometimes I give it a bad rap and I'll say, don't stay there too long. Today I'm going to kind of look at it differently because it came to me in meditation and I really liked the energy of it. It's about exploration. The whole theme, actually, exploration is a theme that came through in dreams and meditation this morning for you. I kind of had this wanderlust, this desire to want to go different places, see different things. So I think for you, the more you can kind of explore and see the bigger picture, the easier it's going to be when you land on something to know this is it. Air signs may relate with this because sometimes what we need to do is look at the bigger picture first. And then once you do make a decision, there's no beating yourself up. You think, well, I thought about everything. This is it. I'm cool with that now. So give yourself a chance to kind of get to that point, and then you're going to be okay. All right. I also, like I said, liked parrots because they have those vivid colors. They stand out among all the other birds. And you are kind of being encouraged to do the same. So rather than trying to fit in, which is something I think a lot of us felt pressure to do when we were in school, right? Or growing up, or sometimes even now still, because of what friends, families, and neighbors, people around us kind of expect us to do. The energy of the parrot is coming through to say, actually, no. What you should be doing is showing how unique, how singular your voice and vision are. And what makes you different is what makes you powerful and memorable. I often like to remind folks that when you think of important people in history, important people in pop culture, politics, whatever, it's usually the ones that stand out that we remember. It's not the, like for actors, for instance, you don't always remember the name of a character actor. You see them in every movie, but they blend into the wallpaper. But the lead actor or the comedic relief or the best friend or whatever, those are the ones that we normally remember because they have something defining. They have a certain sort of like energy. So whatever your special something is, you really want to let that come forth in this moment. It's not necessarily always good to blend in. It's not necessarily always good to try to mute your light. I would say it's usually not, actually. There are times when you don't want to get in the way of someone else doing their job, or everybody should have a moment to shine, but you shouldn't have to change yourself so that other people like you, because that's actually conditional love and conditional relationship energy as opposed to unconditional, open. I love you for who you are. You know what I mean? So that's the important thing. Speak your mind, be your authentic, true self, and shine first and foremost, because it is your moment to kind of be the star. All right, the parrots, as I was looking at their the different sort of habitats in the earlier part of the latter century, there was a lot of trade, and they were kind of moved around and brought from different, their native environments. But what's cool is a lot of them escaped or were kind of released into the wild, and they ended up actually becoming like these feral flocks of birds. So there's a bunch in North America. I think there's some in Europe as well. And they have this adaptability. So you have this adaptability as well. I kind of skipped ahead of myself. So just know that you can, this is part of what we're talking about today. You can ease into change. You can make peace with sort of a new environment, even if it wasn't what you wanted to do. So like when I was a kid, my parents moved me from the West to the East to go to school. Then I came back to the West when I was an adult, but that wasn't my choice to move, but it was actually good. And I found some of the best friends in my life. I had some of the best teachers in my life. I had some really key experiences because I was forced to do something that I didn't want to do. And it actually ended up being good for me. But I found my true self kind of doing all of that too. So just realize you can adapt. You have that adaptability. They are known, of course, for their imitation of human voices. The interesting thing as I did my research is that they don't have traditional vocal cords. There's a special organ that's on top of their trachea, and they move air across it. I couldn't pronounce it, and we didn't want to get too scientific here. So just basically know that they don't even have the same mechanics that we do, but they're able to do a pretty good approximation of our voice, which I think also speaks to their intelligence and adaptability. So if you don't think that, if you doubt that because of maybe something that a teacher, a friend, or even just your own high bar of excellence kind of is dictating, just know this: you are capable, you are intelligent, you are able to move through this. So the parrot's coming through, repeating it in my head, just saying they can do it. Use your own voice, however, because we're talking about a mimic here on some senses. And for those of you that are inspired by others, just say who they are. So in music, if you sample someone, you give credit to them and you pay them residuals. If you are doing a research paper, you cite it in your bibliography or whatever. And if you want to work with someone or collaborate with someone, then just call them out and say, hey, I'm really inspired by this. Can we work together? I want to give you credit. So that's the message there, is that, as long as credit is being given, then it's actually really nice if someone mentions you. Now, if someone tries to take credit for what you're doing, it's okay to fight. That's no longer a compliment. So if someone just dresses the way you do or imitates your style, sure, that's a compliment. But if they take your ideas or work and then try to profit off of that, that's not okay. By the way, slight warning in respect to this, I saw someone the other day in my comments that had used my picture and was starting to put numbers for WhatsApp and everything. This happens now and then. It looks like they deleted their account already, but just know on YouTube and on other social media platforms, I'm never going to reach out. I'm never going to put a phone number out there and stuff like that. That is clearly someone that's trying to do that. That's an example. You see it a lot on YouTube, not just for other readers, but anybody that kind of has a decent following. You'll see someone that's got a fake account that's trying to piggyback on that person, and it's not cool. So that's a parrot. That's a different kind of parrot, like a doppelganger. So in real life, we want to be careful of that. So always go back to the source and make sure that you are hearing it for what it is. It's not just this is also about kind of like telephone. So a parrot's only going to get one piece of something. And the game of telephone is where you whisper something and it makes its way around the room. But by the time it gets back to you, it's kind of dissolved. It's not quite what it was. It's a game that kids play sometimes, and it just shows the word of mouth can kind of break down a message. So if you're only hearing one piece, or if one thing is repeated again and again, make sure that you get the big picture of the Seven of Cups. A different sort of look at the Seven of Cups today, but you have to see everything. One cup is not going to be the whole big the big picture there. So make sure you're seeing everything and you're not kind of getting lost with one message, one person, and make sure that one person's not trying to take credit or be someone else. Last night I saw what looked to me, I must have someone in this room today that is either an engineer, an inventor, or is trying to get something patented or trademarked, because I saw a conversation about felt to me like it was software or technology. And as the person was talking, I thought, careful, because there's people here that might take that. So if you do have an idea like that and you want to share it with people, it's good, because we saw the sort of message about, being able to brainstorm. Just make sure that they're under contract, that they signed an NDA, and they understand that also that you've patented or copyrighted the idea prior to sharing that. So protect your ideas, be mindful of who you share them with, and especially if you are someone that's like an engineer, an inventor, or a technology type person that is trying to maybe get investors or get interest in something, get those NDAs signed, right? And those are the main messages from the parrot. So the parrot is intelligent, the parrot can mimic, the parrot is proud like a peacock. The parrot also has this ability to adapt to any situation. So it's a really cool energy to come through for us during this period, showing that we can adapt, that we can think through things, that we can even take something that seems difficult and find a way to make it work, because the parrot lacks the vocal cords but was able to do something. So you're not as limited as you think is what I got with that bird, okay? Next piece that came through was the wanderlust, which is just a fancy word for wanting to travel, wanting to explore. I saw myself in like several different European countries. It felt like a whirlwind to me, and it was very fast. But what I liked about it is I just felt this sense of expansion. So really what my guides were showing me was the world card, because I was kind of going across the globe, if you will. So it's time to move on. It's time to move up. It's time to move out. Expansion. So many of you have outgrown where you live. We'll talk more about this, and actually I'm going to talk about it now. A change of environment changes everything in your life, because it is the energy that surrounds you. It is the energy that you sleep with. So know that changing your environment can change your life, and it might be time to move on, move up, or move out. The world energy that I was talking about is about growth, distribution, and expansion. This is coming toward you if you're ready to receive it. What I saw when I surrendered to the world energy was rolling green fields. I don't know if it was Ireland or New Zealand, but it was some country where I just saw beautiful green fields. Doesn't really matter, because to me, that was like greener pastures. That was new opportunities. That was fertility. That was growth. That was abundance. Even if you're part of the world, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're going into fall, this felt very much to me like spring. So we're talking about a symbol for the energy of now, which is telling me new growth, new abundance, rolling green fields as far as the eyes could see. So I feel like we're in a good period right now. There's a chance for growth and development. That's why we're going to focus on change today. Yeah, it did feel a lot like Ireland. I'm seeing an Irish person pop up, but again, I was thinking in my head, New Zealand also has a lot of rolling fields, and it is a symbol. So the next piece is about management of time and energy. So I saw in particular scheduling, and it wasn't just you, it was scheduling your schedule plus maybe if you have family members, roommates, or if you are a manager and there's a lot of like deadlines. And I saw a number, it felt to me like it was like 10 or 15 people if you're like a manager. And that's where maybe you do want to work with someone. You might need a piece of software or something to keep in touch with all of this. What I think this is leading up to is like 8 of Wands, which is so good for business, by the way. That's what happens when you can book out 3 or 4 months and you can't keep up with demand. In which case you want to look at price points, you want to look at growing your team so that more people can help out with the demand. So I like all of that. And I know a lot of companies right now are sort of struggling with trying to recruit, because it's interesting post-pandemic, or we're not really past it, but like in this little lull that we're in before probably another hill. In this period right now, there's this sort of struggle to meet demand again, because a lot of people left industries. And now that some industries are coming back, nobody wants to kind of go to those jobs, or they're having a hard time getting people at that price point. So some of you might be struggling with that. If you're looking for work right now, the fact that I saw rolling green fields does portend or kind of like suggest good things. So we'll take a look at it when we look at the general reading here in just a second, okay? And I see some questions. By the way, if you have a very specific question, stick around until the end. After I do the meditation, I'll take a silent question and I'll pull a card for you. So if I don't answer something here, that's how I kind of deal with it in the main readings. So stick around till the end. Okay, you're gonna have a chance to show your leadership skills this month, and that's the important takeaway here. So if you are able to kind of keep your cool, something that I've been talking about for the past couple of signs, I think I mentioned it in Leo and Virgo, just staying calm, cool, and collected, you're going to be able to excel during this period, especially Virgo, because I just typed it up the other day. So I feel like that's going to be key. If you can breathe through this, talk through this, and come up with some ideas for someone, they're probably going to latch on to that and say, yes, I'm ready for that. Okay. Take a moment. This is fun. This is like the Three of Cups, but a really good version of it. Take a moment to look at how far you've come and then celebrate. Take a moment to really, no matter what it is, like if it's been a tough year, you maybe lost a job, or maybe there's been people in your life that have left, moved away because of all the changes in work and everything, and it just feels kind of tough. Celebrate the fact that you survived. Survival in and of itself is something to celebrate, that you're here today for this reading. And if you've done something even bigger, like I know a lot of kids recently have just graduated after a year of going through remote learning and pandemic school, hello, that's a celebration. If you've been working from home and trying to parent during this period, or even trying to be with a partner, or being on your own and trying to deal with all of that, celebrate. So take a moment right now and give gratitude and thanks for where you're at, even though it's been not the greatest year, right? There's been a lot that we've learned, and the fact that we're still here, still standing, still kicking, it is a reason to celebrate. Now, more importantly, now we're going from Three of Cups to Two of Wands. Set a goal for what's coming through next. It is such, I mean, because you have the Parrot card, you probably can roll with the punches, but it's so much more powerful to know what you want, to let the universe know exactly what you have in mind, rather than wait and see. And I think all of us have been guilty at some point in our lives of just kind of like clocking in and clocking out. It's another day. We'll see what this brings. I'll be here for a while. You wait for something to happen. So don't wait for something to happen. I know I wrote this yesterday, I believe. Be an agent of change. So when I was recapping this is a little bit from the Virgo reading. You want to be that agent of change in your life. Yes, God and the universe can work with you and through you. But if you know where you want to go and you take action to make that happen, you move from the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands, and you become a manifester, and you start to see a return on that energetic investment, and it's exciting then. So those are your main messages today. Again, the message of the parrot, standing out, speaking out, using your own voice, protecting your ideas and adaptability. The expansion energy that I saw with the world and the rolling green hills. The management and prioritization message that came through with the scheduling piece, and then the celebration, setting goals, and then moving towards those goals. Those are the main messages coming through right on the heels of that partial solar eclipse, right on the heels of the new moon, right in the middle of this Mercury retrograde, which everybody loves, I say with a little bit of humor. I'm going to stack up these cards. If you missed anything here, follow me on social media, because by tomorrow, I will repost this on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, my website, and the community tab here on YouTube. So it's a good reason to follow me on one or all of those. And when I do these main readings, because we have so many things that we're talking about, I'm not going to do a recap. I normally do a recap in a general reading, but this is going to help the pacing of it. I'm going to quickly put up my social media handles here so you can pause it and follow me, and Dakota kindly placed my links there as well. And basically it's Nicholas Ashbaugh on everything except Twitter, which is @Ashbaugh. So feel free to join me there. I would love for you to do that. I'm going to begin now and go into the Celtic cross. I have a brand new deck here that I'm going to use. I'm going to get a drink of water, and I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see this. So this was one that was suggested to me, and I love it. It's called Afro Goddess Tarot Arcanas. It's a indie deck, so you'd have to get it directly from the author. And I did list it on the decks page on my website. Just to kind of show you, the images on this are beautiful. Everything on it looks kind of like a chalk painting to me, like you would see on the cement. So I think you're going to enjoy it today. So let me get some water. I'm going to leave this camera down for a second so you can see the name of this, and I'll be right back. I forgot to get my drink, and I need some H2O to be here with you guys today, so thank you. All right. So thank you. I put a post up on my community tab and my Patreon and Twitter a few months, or actually a month ago, where I was asking for some new decks that I should be using. And this one's really, really beautiful. Probably the best cardstock that I've seen in any of my decks. got this beautiful, you can't really, I like that you can't see the continent. It's Africa on the back, but so it's fine when you're pulling. It doesn't kind of influence your pull. But the cardstock is really thick, and I think this will last a long time. So I don't get any endorsements. I just pick decks that I like. So here we go. Let's take a look at this. And if you click the link on my website, this one, there's no kickback or anything. This is just the author. So I think that's cool. Occasionally, I like to just support indie authors, and that's what we're going to do today. So let's take a look at the messages for right here, right now for everybody. Like seriously, the most beautiful colors I've seen in a deck in a while. So vivid. That one volunteered itself. All right, let's take a look at the messages coming through for you. All right, so in your catalyst position, we have generosity, and the catalyst functions as a way for you to basically stay on the right path, keep out of trouble, to elevate your energy, and to start some good movement in your life. Catalysts are agents of change. So with this card in reverse, this is kind of what I was talking about at the very end. Gratitude and generosity kind of go hand in hand. So being grateful for what you have and being able to give back a little bit, even if you're feeling a sense of, I would say, especially if you're feeling a sense of uncertainty. So a lot of times this card or this message can unlock what we would see with the Four of Pentacles. Someone holding on and thinking, is this all I'm going to get? Or will there ever be more? Or am I worthy of something? Can I share who I am? When you're feeling the limited energy of the Four of Pentacles, what you can do is give symbolically something back to others. It can just be a phone call, some of your time. That's a form of generosity. It can be looking around you and thinking, I'm not really using this, or this. Maybe I can pass it on to someone in my family. Maybe I can donate it to charity. So giving in a symbolic way, it doesn't have to be in a monetary way, and just saying, thank you in and of itself. It's gratitude, but generosity would be going a step further and deciding like, hey, I don't need this whole sandwich, have half of it, something like that. So share a little bit. And what that tells the universe is, hey, this person's open to receive more. They are already ready to let go of some of this stuff. Let's give them more. They're not attached. So it opens the floodgates. So however you can be generous this month, give it a shot. See how it feels. A little bit goes a long way. So just a small piece. You know, if you have a whole bag of chips, share half of the bag with someone else or give someone a couple chips. I mean, I'm using food as an example, but, you know, little things go a long way. And also, if someone is trying to help you, this is also about receiving because it was reversed. Do you have a hard time allowing help to come to you? Is there something where you feel like not proud when that happens, or less than, because this is telling you that it's okay. That person maybe wants to. And when you allow them to do that, that makes them feel happy. Especially if it's like a grandparent or a parent or a lover, they might want to just be there for you because that's a form of unconditional love and true love too. All right, let's get into the messages here in the cards. We have the Seven of Pentacles here at the center. And the Seven of Pentacles is always kind of frustrating because there's this feeling sometimes of How long is it going to take before I'm completely out of the woods, right? This is a card of growth, recovery, and really for me, it is like the final test before you get to the next level. So Seven of Pentacles tells me you know what to do, you know what not to do, and you may have in front of you an old lesson or an old even sort of temptation where it's like, should I put my investment of time and energy into this, or have, am I ready to let it go? Can I focus now on putting it where I know I need to? So it's kind of like you know what to do, and you know that now's the time to make that change. So do it, and you're going to see more and more growth here. The Seven of Pentacles leads to Eight of Pentacles, which is great. That is a return on investment. That is learning. That is distribution. It's a good card. So you're very, very close to getting it together financially. Just don't feel frustrated. Don't fall into temptation, and you should be okay. All right. One thing that I'd like to see with the Seven of Pentacles here is to have her really, it's almost like she's hiding a little bit behind this. So if there's anything that's been going on in your life where you feel like that defines you, this is not the case. This card is saying you are on the road to recovery. You're on the road to growing past that and kind of like spreading your wings, okay? So I'd like to see her facing us, and she's still kind of looking into the energy and the lesson of the Seven of Pentacles. Still a beautiful card, still a card of growth and recovery, but the reversal of this is just saying try to think of the positive and don't worry about it. In fact, what we have on top of it is a beautiful Ace of Wands, which is something new that's being given to you, a new opportunity, new idea for those of you that are, like I said, engineers or inventors, or maybe just very, very creative. You could be in any particular kind of like hierarchy, and you could be coming up with a great idea. This is where I really want you to be able to do something with it. So protect it if it's really good, share it with the right kind of people, and this could take you far. This is a very good card for vitality. So waking up and feeling inspired. Once you, like I said earlier, kind of set a mark in the sand and think, this is where I want to go, the Ace of Wands is going to take you there. Also, you could be taking the baton. I don't know why I normally don't look at it this way, but what I got in my head was like a relay racer, right? So no one person has to do everything. So you could be the next person in that sort of line, and it's your time to sprint. Or maybe you've done the sprinting, and this is saying, now give it to the next person and focus on taking care of some other things. So look at the big picture, look at the relay race. Get some good people around you, friends, family, coworkers, direct reports if you're a manager or whatever. And it's a team effort, even though we have an ace card. This is one person handing it to the next. So you're not a rock, you're not an island, you're a team here, okay? In the deep past here, we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is telling me that that's why you can get through that Seven of Pentacles at the center. So in this particular deck, queens are goddesses and kings are gods. So I like this. Goddess of Pentacles here is, to me, the card of wealth, of home, of fertility, of like being able to birth something, but also it's symbolic. It's not just a baby. It can be an idea or a new version of yourself. It is one of the most abundant cards that I could pull. Next to maybe like the Ace of Pentacles or the Ten of Pentacles or the Wheel of Fortune. It's really good. What's good about this is you can take something and create more too. So just know that you have that magical touch, the Midas touch. Okay. And looks like in the background, there's like a little bunny rabbit too, which makes me laugh. So definitely fertile energy, all abounding in here. And we see some butterflies as well. So this is about the change that we're all stepping into. So we'll be looking at that in the second portion. Yeah, these really are beautiful cards, aren't they? I'm glad you guys like them. I'm really trying to kind of like change up and have different types of cards. So this is fun. All right, so we have the Five of Wands. And what I like about this one is we see teamwork. Sometimes the Five of Wands can be competition, right? And with this, we see people that are pointing in the same direction, and they're going to work together, and I like that. Also, these were the rolling green hills that I saw in my dreams last night. So for you, I feel like this could also indicate like 3 to 5 months ahead of you that are going to be really exciting as well with this growth, with this movement. And sometimes with the move, because this reminds me a little bit more of Ten of Wands, like you're half the way there. Let's put it that way as well, because this is halfway to 10. So for some of you, this is just an indication that, so we're in June, July, August, September, October, November. So really looking at November or December, it's like a different world for you, right? So the struggle of the Seven of Pentacles gives way to the Queen of Pentacles and to this new future in front of you. There's a little bit of work to do. That's one thing that none of us like to remember with Five of Wands, but it's there. So I would say, don't give up. Keep working hard, keep working out. For those of you that are trying to do that, that's actually you're gonna see positive benefit from whatever you're working on, whether it's school, whether it's your body, whether it's your mind, whether it's your mental health, because we go from the Five of Wands to the Strength card. So I see an improvement, I see growth there. Right in between that, however, we have Two of Pentacles. I generally don't read Two of Pentacles as a monetary card. I see it as a choice between two things in your life, between an investment of resource and energy. So for some of you, it's simply work-life balance. Are you putting too much into something and not enough into something else? It's also a difficult choice. I talk about this a lot, but I'd much prefer to get the Six of Pentacles because it tells me I can have everything I want, just not in the time that I want it. Maybe not in the particular form that I want it, but I can pretty much get everything that I'm looking for. With the Two of Pentacles, it's saying, you got to make a choice. You probably need to focus on this first, maybe at the expense of this, or maybe this has to happen much, much later than you thought. But the choice will be good. It can also be, it's going to be worth it, I should say. The other piece of it could be that you're really focusing on saying, you know what, this is what matters now. I have a new perspective and I'm ready to let go of this. Then what happens when you let go? You've got an ace. So instead of trying to juggle a couple of things, you can take that ace and really see it grow. So look at where you can put the maximum investment of your time and energy and go from the Two of Pentacles and subtract it and get an ace. You either want to add something and have the Three of Pentacles or subtract it and get an ace. The Two of Pentacles is a sort of like tightrope walker, right? So for you, there's that thin line between being able to do it and just kind of burning yourself out. And I don't want you to burn yourself out. All right, so we have the Strength card. This is why the parrot came through earlier. Beautiful card here showing that the struggle, it doesn't have to happen. This is a peaceful Strength card. In a lot of different decks, you will see the female kind of opening up the mouth of the beast. And in this one, no, we have divine masculine and feminine as one. So this is showing me also that you're taking care of your mind, body, spirit. You're not worrying about trying to put words in other people's mouth. You're not letting them put words in yours. Because when we're no longer seeing the person kind of picking up the mouth, it's basically saying, no, I know who I am. I know what I mean. I know what this person, where they stand. So this is really knowing your voice and being comfortable and strong with it, right? Have you taken a nap or have you rested yourself lately? So for those of you that are working way too much, this is the power of sleep. I can't do these readings unless I get a certain amount of rest because I have to pick up on dream meditations or dream messages. I have to be able to the best of my ability, pull all the stuff that's coming through my third eye and crown chakra and try to articulate it. So I need sleep. So do you. If you're working too much, make sure that you're getting the rest that you need. This can also indicate the importance of, if it's allowable in your country right now with COVID right now, to get like a massage or acupuncture, something taking care of your body, physical therapy, if that's something that you need as well. Okay. Let's look at the next card here. We have the King of Wands or the God of Wands in this particular deck. I like that the cat is in here or the panther is in here because normally we would see the panther or the cat in the Queen of Wands. So there's a little bit, I really like how this deck designer made sure that there's a combination of feminine and masculine. Feline to me is a little bit more feminine. And so what we have here with the God of Wands is the ability to lead, but also to be open to and to be receptive to new ideas. He's upright, which is good, so he is open-minded. And this receptive energy of the cat is also showing me that a good leader knows when to listen, not just when to tell someone what to do. And that's the most important thing. If you have someone in your life that only tells you what to do, then it's time to try to find a different place to exist in. If it's a family, that's going to be hard. But if it's a working situation, this leader needs to change. You can lead by example because, again, this is in the positive, upright position, and this represents you. You are the boss this month. This is the bossiest boss card that I could pull. The Queen of Wands is really good. The King of Wands tells me that if there's something that you want to set your mind to, you have everything that it takes. You have the strength and the agility to move forward, and you have the leadership ability to come through. And that was one of your messages in the channel portion. I said that you have a chance to really show your leadership. Let me see if I can find it. But if you're willing and ready to do that, I think that's key. Yeah, you have a chance to show your leadership skills. So you're set up for that success if you want it. If you don't, you can also be a great support to a leader. So figure out what your role is, and this is going to be a good month for you. If things are a mess, though, and crazy, you're going to have a good idea. I want you to stand up for whatever your idea is or whatever your voice is. Okay, so now we have the King of Cups in your environment. Hello, this is good for love. You know I don't read love unless love comes through. So love came through here, and we're going to look at it in a moment when I expand the forecast. This indicates not only what's around you, but also how you're portraying yourself to others. So first of all, you have a very attractive sort of energy or magnetic energy this month. It almost looks like he's on a rock, but it kind of reminds me of what is that? Like a beehive, as I'm looking at this from a distance. But anyway, there's this sort of potent energy, potent attractive energy this month. If you can really engage your heart space this month and your passion, that's going to be key. Definitely looks like Poseidon or Neptune here with the trident. I like that. So your strong passion, emotional sort of conveyance of energy is going to be important. Yes, you could have a great water sign in your midst this month as well. But overall, I like that you're coming forth as King of Wands, and then we see a King of Cups here in the environment. I actually prefer it when there are two kings or two queens. I don't read gender with the cards. I read energy, and I look at the hierarchy of it. So you're coming through as being very firm and confident in who you are. And then we have someone who's really open, playful, and expressive that wants to be kind of in that energy. So if you can get this confidence, this is what's waiting. And we'll look at it through the lens of in a relationship, looking for a relationship, or just not really focusing on that in just a second. First, let's finish up this main spread here. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles, and this is potential. This is why I'm telling you not to worry about the Seven of Pentacles. This is abundance. This is fertility. This is independence. This is self-sufficiency. This is the goal. And a lot of times she has some sort of crazy bird on her shoulder. It can be like a parrot, but a lot of times it's something else. But anyway, I think the parrot fits nicely on this Nine of Pentacles this month. The only thing missing from this is my favorite feature, which is the snail, which is to remind you to be patient. So even though it's missing, it's still a feature of the Nine of Pentacles message. Slow and steady wins the race. And it feels darn good when you get to that final place where you think, I did it. This was worth it. It was worth those, 5 years of going through school and paying my bills and doing all that stuff or whatever it is. So don't give up, because this is what's on the horizon for you as well, okay? The only thing with this, I believe it was reversed, is that you want to focus on not being afraid to receive, because what we saw here was a hand giving you something that's worth receiving, and then you were like, I'm not ready for that, or I'm not worthy of that. This can also be like, I am so strong that I don't need anybody's help. And sometimes it's better to receive some feedback and some support. So you have everything it takes to be successful. You have someone trying to give you something. Really sort out what the hesitation is about receiving that, because this is you trying to decide as well. So sort it out, because if you do receive it, guess what happens? This 9 goes to a 10, and that's a good thing. So maybe that extra little bit of support could be what it takes to push you into the next direction, okay? The next piece that we have here is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups here is such a powerful card when it comes to relationships and friendships. So with this card, for many of you, this is about the patience. So if you have a really, really high expectation of who or what you're trying to bring into your life when it comes to a friend, a relationship, any sort of energy that involves another living being, this is a high bar of excellence. So if you're picky, it takes a little longer for that person to show up sometimes. It's easy to just go out and talk to a random stranger. But if you're really trying to find someone that you vibe with energetically, patience is part of that journey. But you're a manifester too. So you can tell the universe, I'm ready now. I'm going to keep doing the work on myself and make this happen sooner than later. And then get back to work is what this is saying. So you'll be fine. Saying I'm ready and I'm ready now, but then not kind of clinging to it is going to be key. Some of you may actually be moving towards this. This is in the outcome position here in the Celtic cross. So you may be meeting that connection that you've been waiting for. And the connection comes in the form of the King of Cups, which is a really nice energy to meet with. Of all the sort of king cards, this is the most receptive and one of the kindest. It's creative, it's gentle, it's masculine, it can be feminine too, but it has that sort of energy of strength and also nurturing that you don't always see in the king cards. So you're on the right path. You're definitely on the right path. This can be a second chance with an old friend, a love interest, or a sibling with whom you've maybe lost some contact. They're coming back in your life, and it's a chance to kind of build on that. The note on this one is friendship, tranquility, peace. The card is upright. There's nothing really negative with this, okay? And yes, I saw a question. The way that I work on my collective readings is if you're here, these are messages for you. I'm not going to isolate it by zodiac signs. You can check out all of my June and July readings. July, I'm still recording, but all the June readings are out there right now. So those are for you. This is for everybody. This is kind of like an energy check-in to fine-tune that a little bit, to amplify that a little bit. All right, let me take another drink, and then we're going to go into the expanded forecast. Okay, we're going to begin with health. We'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Health is multi-part. It's going to be mind, body, and spirit. So with this one, we have rainbow blessings. I really like this. So for those of you that are going through a really difficult time or have been through a year that's been difficult, hello, that's most of us. This is showing that there is something on the other side. For a rainbow to exist, what has to happen? Obviously, there either needs to be mist or rain, right? There's also sun. But the rain, whenever I look at metaphors in cards, usually is heavy emotion. What I'm seeing here is the heavy emotion lifting. We're seeing the sun come through, and now we're seeing this beautiful rainbow, which is also it's like a light at the end of the tunnel. It's also guiding you toward a better tomorrow, right? So when it comes to your mind, body, and spirit, this is reminding you to look for the blessings in this situation. It's kind of like a different interpretation of like 5 of Cups or 4 of Cups, where you get frustrated and you can't see the big picture sometimes. So look and change perspective, and you might be surprised. Always look up, always look around. Those are messages that I like to remind friends and family to do. Because sometimes when you look up, you see the moon, you see a bird, you see something cool. When you look around you, you're going to see people that might be trying to convey something to you. So take the blinders off, look around a little bit. Let's focus on specific health messages. It's a really good time to find a balance that maybe you didn't have before in your health, and you will see good strides here. The hardest thing for some of you maybe is motivation. This is a sleepy strength card, right? Both of them seem to be kind of resting. And changes in your body take time. I like this deck because it's a very body positive deck. We see real looking people in this deck. So take time and do what's healthy for your body, because what we see in movies and in magazines, it's all retouched. I used to be a graphic designer. I used to work for a company that would do some of that stuff. And so I saw pre and post retouch. It's not the same person. So take your time, have realistic expectations. Good progress takes work, takes time. So do what's good for you. Always work with your doctor, professional, etc., for that kind of change. But do it because it feels right and it's for you. What else is coming through? Okay, so the other thing here is I do feel like your financial health will kind of affect your mental health this month. And we see a journey here between, it's a positive journey here as well. 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So I'm going to turn the camera down for just a second so you can see this. I really saw the potential before it came through here in the spread. But if we look here at what's coming through in the middle with the 7 of Pentacles, we got the 9 here. If you balance things in or out a little bit, you get to that. So 7, 8, 9, 9. So take some time this month to work through whatever it is with your resources or your money that is stressing you out. Ask for some help. Receive the help if it comes, and you're going to be okay in the long run. I see improvement on that particular front. So I really think that it's about mental health and physical health. Those are the main focal points. You didn't actually get something that came through like 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. I'm not seeing body pain or anything. Movement is what came through, and I saw that in my dreams last night. So think about how you can get moving. Work with your doctor to see what makes sense for you. Start that movement, and I think some really good things are going to happen for you. Okay? Let's take a look now. And the biggest part here is it's okay, by the way, to have gone through all of that struggle, because there is something brighter. The clouds are clearing. So keep focusing on that. Keep focusing on that. Yes, all of that is valid, but it's not the only thing. Okay, let's go to wealth now. So wealth, by the way, if you're retired, can be purpose and how you give back. Wealth, if you're in the middle of your life, can be sort of, yeah, what am I doing for a living? And do I feel a sort of reciprocal energy? If you're a student, it can be about, is this investment of time and energy worth it? How is it panning out? So we have clarity of belief here. And for some of you, it is just about sort of figuring out what's beyond the fog here, what's next. I've recounted the story of graduation a couple of times, but I'll talk about it here as well. Whatever you're doing right now, if you're in a job, if you're going to school, or if you're retired, what's the bigger purpose? What's after that? Because this is the here and the now. But to help you get to 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands, and just kind of like manifestation, the star or whatever, I want to help you get to what is it you see yourself doing? And then how does this connect to that? Does it connect to that? If it doesn't, why are you doing it? So there's just sort of this chance to get back into things and just validate and calibrate things a little bit. And that's the most important thing. Does it work? If it does, great. If it doesn't, we've got a little butterfly here. It's saying I am comfortable with the fact that I probably need to move forward or move on. Okay. We already talked quite a bit about finances. I'm not going to pull it down again for this, but you have the Queen of Pentacles in the deep past, and we see you moving toward the 9 of Pentacles. So the 7 and the 2 in between are just some choices you have to make, letting go of some things, putting energy into other things. If you're looking for work, those rolling green fields that I saw here portend good things. We have the number 5 on it, 5 weeks, 5 months. We see something here in the next quarter of the year that's starting to shift for you. So focus on continuing to work and develop there. Also, I talked about this, I know for a fact, and I think in Virgo, but networking is really important for you. And the 6 of Cups are best friends, family members, word of mouth that might be able to help you get in the door somewhere, get the next thing happening. For those of you that are retired, you might decide to put more of your time and energy into helping youth, children. Same thing for those of you that might be working. Maybe you want to give back to the community or to people, smaller groups that appreciate it, maybe moving from corporate to something more one-on-one. Because the 2 of Cups, the 6 of Cups and the Lovers, that can definitely be like smaller groups, even 10 of Cups. So narrowing the focus a little bit for sure. I see good things. I'm not actually seeing bad things. The most important thing for you with respect to time and energy is maybe letting go of something, making smarter decisions. That's really what 7 of Pentacles is, make smarter decisions, okay? Let's look at love, and we'll definitely focus on the King cards that came through, plus the Strength card, which can be a Leo. So we have Snapdragon. The card is reversed, but let's look at it upright. We have graciousness and benevolence, beautiful. And the small caption at the bottom says, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Aesop. I agree, and this was what I was talking about earlier, that sometimes less can be more. And sometimes we overthink, like, oh, I don't have anything to give. You do. Your time is the most valuable. Actually, that's the one resource on this planet that's probably worth the most. It's not money. Time and love are the most valuable resources. So if you can combine the two, then you're doing something very special. Are the people around you, because the card was reversed, are they exuding grace? Are they doing things out of the kindness of their heart, benevolence? Or is there some sort of an angle to it? What are the conditions on things? As you start to weigh that, you're going to make smarter choices with the existing relationships in your life. Let's take this and break it down as looking for love, in love, or indifferent to that, or not focusing on that. So if you're looking for love, one of the biggest challenges for you, I'm going to pull the cards down for a second just because it's easier. If you're looking for love, you're busy right now. There's a lot of focus on career because we're looking at all of these resource cards here with Queen of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and 9 of Pentacles. And your head is focusing also on kind of how to bring all of this into focus. So you may have something right around your periphery, right under your nose, and you're missing that because of this. So if you're looking for love, make some time in your life for that. Because in order for it to come in, you have to legitimately say, I'm ready, I'm making the smart choices to allow that to come forth. And if you do that, then what I see for you is a very strong energy coming in. And this isn't someone that necessarily overpowers you because we have 2 kings, and that's why this Strength card is very gentle. But This is a strong presence. I'm kind of combining the, because this is near future. By the way, you have a nice kind of love spread here. This is near future, this is future. So strong connection. We have again, the Six of Cups here, which is soulmate or really, really close best friend connection. And then in the environment, we have a very gentle King of Wands. So I like it a lot. You've just got to make some space in your life for that right now, because right now I don't see the space as much. Also, this person may come through as a very giving person, and it may be hard for you because you're independent. So I see two strong people here. And the biggest thing is like, these are like two stars, right? So binary stars. Rather, with stars, you can either have them like go supernova, or they have a new rotation around each other, new orbit. So let's not go supernova. Let's just allow two people to shine. You're calling it a very strong, strong energy. If you're in a relationship, I think the biggest challenge for some of you is how much time you're getting from the other person, because these money cards can also be time, and choices that the other partner is making as well, you and the other partner. So you have to get on the same page when it comes to work, money, and time. And this can be a stubborn card because her eyes are closed. So she doesn't want to necessarily listen. The Strength card is the hardest one to sometimes negotiate with, because you would want this card as your lawyer or as your guard or something like that. But when it's someone that you have to talk to, it's really hard to get through. So just make sure that there's an openness in the communication. And I think that's going to be key. Okay. And the good news is I do see an ability to get back to sort of an amicable outcome. We don't have like judgment or justice here or anything like that. So it's really just about trying to get the resources and the time squared away and to try to find a way to communicate. If you're not looking for love, no problem. You're still going to have some good luck this month pulling in people in your life, because you're coming across with this attractive energy. You're still going to have you might have a new friend coming in. And I also see growth with finances. So it's a really good time to finish something up. Stop wasting time. Just focus on getting something done. You're going to have a new idea that's coming forth as soon as you finish one project. You might have a good partner that you can pull into your life, your business, or again, just as a friend. So I still see new energy coming in, whether you like it or not. Ironically, that seems to always happen if you're not looking for love. I see something really cool coming in for you anyway. Your final card here today is Destiny. And this was reversed, but it says, trust the great mystery, the whale spirit. I would say for you, just really allowing, there is no upside down with the whale. So there's no wrong way around this. So that's actually the message here, is to trust the process and trust the direction right now. So as long as you continue to learn, expand, and get something out of what you're doing, you didn't make a mistake. You just took a turn, you just went this way. And just like when you're in the water, there's really no upside down, so to speak, because of the way that the water is. So you can kind of flip upside down, whatever. This is just a chance for you to realign. Whales make a splash. I used this as a totem in the past. And one of the things that I love about a whale is that you definitely see it. It's one of the biggest creatures on the planet. So you have a big presence. You can do what you put your mind to. Don't let anybody tell you you're small. The whale is here to tell you that you have a really big energy, a big purpose on this planet, and you were here to make a splash, okay? You're asking about the 65. That's just if you want to look at the guidebook. And I'm not looking at the guidebook. So you can go to page 65 in the book, someone asked. You could add these two numbers up if you wanted to numerologically. And so what you have like an 11, which would reduce to a 2. So you could look at the second of the month and the 11th of the month that's coming ahead, or 2 days from now and 11 days from now if you want to kind of like geek out on it. But it's really to align it to the guidebook. So don't worry about it. Okay, let's focus now on the next piece of this journey, which is what's opening up to us. I probably won't expand the forecast in the same way. I'm not going to do 4 cards here. I might do a 3-card pull to look at some other things, but let's focus on what's being presented to you. And then we're going to look in the mini read on how we can cope with it or kind of embrace the change. So now we see what's kind of in front of us again. Some big movement when it comes to your money and your resources, and possibly some improvements in relationship for you as well, which is great. So let me put the cards to the side here, and we're going to take a look now at the changes coming forth in this waxing crescent. So whenever the moon is going from new to full, it's a really good time for us to explore, to look at new things. So we're going to do that, and we're going to see what's coming forth. So let me see which deck I want to use for this. I use this one. Or we're going to do another. Yeah, we'll do this one. Okay, so let's take a look. I have to remember the name of this one. It's Divine something or other. Give me a second and I'll look at the decks afterwards. You can just go to my my website and all of them are listed there. I put some pictures of them. Usually I know them, but I didn't pre-select these. I'm doing them on the fly. So we're going to open up to the Waxing Crescent and the post-eclipse and all the new energy that's coming through. What we're going to do on this one is do a past, present, future sort of energy and look and see. We'll go deeper into this in a second, but we're going to look at what's brought us to this moment. Okay, and we should get a catalyst for this one as well. All right, let's take a look again. So we just took a look at your general forecast. Now we're going to look at opportunities being presented to you, what you can do with them. It's a little bit more tactical. This isn't necessarily about love. This is about change in your life, but love could be a part of it. Let's just see what's coming through. So we have an achievement card, also reversed. Ganesha, by the way, is here to help us overcome all of these blocks. So don't worry about anything that you're fearing because you're going to be able to move through them. There's a fear for some of you of achievement, or there could be overachievement energy coming in. And sometimes what I was talking about way back at the beginning when I was looking at channeled messages, just the celebration after an achievement. Because so often we hit a pinnacle in our life and it can feel anticlimactic because we're already focusing on now what's next? What's the very next thing that I have to worry about or start doing in my life? By the way, I think it's Divine Fairy or something like that. I'll take a look at it later in the reading. But this is just basically saying that you need to focus on being able to accept where you're at and celebrate where you're at, because this has been a very important part of the journey. And nothing is small. And Ganesh is here to remind us that nothing is small. So let me see if there's anything else in the picture here. I also like how we see a couple of figures on either side. This reminds me a little bit of what I would see with the Hierophant card, which is basically that people are looking up to you, maybe more than you know. And so for you, I want you to kind of give yourself credit for, hey, you know what? I might actually be inspiring to other people. I'm not going to sell myself short. This is an important moment in my life and my time, etc. Okay. Let's take a look now at the center message here. We have the Five of Cups, which is perspective, which is something that has been coming up quite a bit. So keeping perspective on what you can control, not what has been lost. If I tie this to the previous reading with the Seven of Pentacles smack dab in the center, this is about focusing on what you've learned from it, how far you've come, and looking at the ability now to take these and grow them, because you had the Queen of Pentacles in the deep past in the previous reading. So sometimes it's important to just go through your moment, have those feels, as they would say nowadays. So just feel what you got to feel, but then afterwards you have to open up and say, all right, enough now. I need to focus on cleaning up, organizing, finding that balance, and making a necessary change. Guess what? You got another ace here at the center. So we have a different ace. It was Ace of Wands before, if I remember. So now you have Ace of Swords. So this is after what we just looked at. So I like to see Wands before Swords. Wands is the kind of ideation, the brewing, the sort of development of something. And then the Ace of Swords is taking action. So Notice that this Ace of Swords is going to slice through that almost cobweb-like web of ropes behind it. And for some of you, you might also kind of be emotionally kind of tied up in a knot here, especially in your solar plexus. So this is telling you to kind of let it go. So take action and release it. And for any of you that have developed something on your own, whether it's maybe even like built a house or something, when it comes time to sell it, if that was the purpose, you look at it and you think, I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. If you've painted a painting, created a book, done anything in your life, there's a point at which you have to let it go. And that's the other message with this is let it go, take the steps necessary to move it forward, and then move even further along the journey. And yes, this is a collective for everybody. We're looking at changes coming into our life, the opportunities in front of us, and we're going to try to see how we can celebrate those opportunities. And I'll look at the next mini read, how to get past the blocks. But first, I want to look at the opportunities. For some of you, it feels like, how do I get my footing, right? Why am I not able to feel like I was? This is really true of all of us that came through the last, 15, 16 months of change since COVID-19 happened. So it's a mess. The world has changed in a it's not the same world. Even if and when things, quote unquote, go back to normal, businesses have closed, procedures have changed, people are working off-site, people have moved, the world is different. So a lot of us right now have to rise from the ashes, because this, like the Judgment card, you can kind of come up from the ashes of the tower and make peace with the fact that there were certain things that were out of our control, right? So we'll look at this, and when I look at the next portion, we're going to focus on the tower. How can I get my bearings? So that I don't forget it, I'm going to write that down. I'm kind of treating the next session, or section rather, as the kind of like the soul path, but we're doing it for this bigger thing. So how to get bearings, so that we can help you with that. And it's kind of like post tower, so I won't forget what I'm saying. Okay. The good news with the tower is there's nowhere to go but up. And that's the message that I have for everybody. Whatever you've been through, it's really now, you're on the rebound, you're on the rebuild. It's time to go. It's time to look up, just like that rainbow blessings card that we saw in the ego before. That's really what it's about. Change equals growth. Change equals development, equals moving. And that's what we really need. And you got the Ace of Wands again. It's in the recent past, which marries up to what we just talked about. But it's reversed. So this is saying, don't overthink anymore. Like, you're ready to take action, so don't overthink. And this is also a vitality card. So for some of you, motivating yourself, even saying, I'm going to do this, having someone in your life that can be an accountability partner, so to speak. So if it's like working out, or if it's getting a deadline done, or if it's a teacher or a mentor or a friend that can be there to say, hey, did you finish that yet? If you need that, if you need the manager to kind of step in and you need to hire someone to do that for you, go for it. It's like you need a project manager or something. So this is basically taking action that you said you were going to do and not overthinking. Okay. So the Fool is the nice sort of beginning after the tower. It doesn't have to just come after the world. You see the number 0 at the top here. So this is a chance to kind of like zero it out and begin again. And with the Fool, there's a sense that anything can happen. We have like a Little Mermaid illustration here. That's why I like this. This is fairy tales. I'm pretty sure it is like Divine Fairy, but it's like pictures from fairy tales, which is why I like this deck. So one of the messages from the Little Mermaid fairy tale is that world that she was looking at, there was a big sacrifice, right, for giving up her old life for a new life. And you really want to look at the sacrifices you've made to get to this point. And also there's a message here of like, the grass isn't always greener. So make a change because you want to make a change. She's still kind of in the Disney version of it. She got her happy ending. I don't think it happened in the Grimm fairy tale if it was one of those, but we'll go with the Disney one. So you can still get your happy ending, but you just have to make sure that you're making the choice that makes sense for you. It's a new start. There are trade-offs involved, but there still is that castle on the hill. So I like that in this particular Fool card. All right. We have the 2 of Swords in reverse, which is actually a positive reference for this card. So the 2 of Swords in reverse is really about making a decision, making a positive move in your life, and realizing that the only thing that can hold you back is just fear and not moving. So sometimes when we have 2 or 3 decisions in front of us, you can research every possible thing. It's like going online and going on Yelp or Google reviews or whatever and trying to figure out what the best place is. You're always going to see 1 or 2 negative things. You're always going to second guess yourself. So this is about making the best decision with the information at hand and hoping that that's enough. And it will be enough, because you could think yourself into, I talk about that like a rabbit hole. So don't take the action. You're ready. And again, when you take away one of the two swords, when you take action, you're left with one, which is the ace. You can start to do stuff. Okay. In your soul, as we're looking at the opportunities here, we have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is pressure. This is pressure from family. This is pressure from work, from society. And this is what we talked about with the parrot. So in order for you to really ease into change, you may not be able to make everyone happy. That's the big message here. And I learned that lesson many, many times in my life. If you're a good leader, you're often going to be met with negative comments, right? There's going to be someone that says something bad, either out of jealousy or just because not everyone's going to agree with you. If you are doing something that's right, but hasn't yet sort of caught on to the mainstream, people will look at you as a troublemaker or as a rebel or as someone who just can't quite, do what they're supposed to do. Guess what? That's how civil change happens in our court systems and in our culture. So the people that are the rebel rousers are also the ones that create change that makes life better for all of us. So for you to do what's right, it may not be what's popular. Okay? That's the main message here. And that you still have the 10 of Pentacles. You're still onto something good, but you might be attracting an entirely different tribe and group of friends and people in your life. I'll recount what a drama teacher once told me. She said, I had to choose between a couple paths, and it doesn't matter the story, but the 3 things that she taught me were that if you try to make everyone happy, you will be unhappy. And that's actually the most important thing. You will not succeed probably at making everyone happy. And people are going to look at you and question where you stand, because they're all very powerful. Unhappiness, a lack of success, and then ultimately people seeing that you don't, like, what's your voice? It's a parrot message again, right? Because if you say yes to everyone, or you're talking about everyone to everyone, or just you end up kind of looking like a gossip, or that you don't have a clear vision of you. So it's better to stand strong and lose a couple people and have respect as well from other people, because the people that didn't agree, they never were going to agree. And you're going to then be able to attract a bigger audience of people that get you for you. Okay. Still success because it's 10 of Pentacles, but success with the trade-off of the Little Mermaid here, which is I'm leaving behind something, but there's something that I love in the future here. So I let that go, but I now have something else that's also cool. So the trade-off now makes sense. All right, let's look at your environment. Hello, King and Queen of Cups. So we have we have a Queen of Cups in reverse. So there may be someone in your midst where it's kind of like, again, it was the give and take that we saw before. Are you ready to receive? So for some of you, you're just not ready to receive a blessing that's coming through. We have another mermaid here, it looks like. So are you ready to receive that? Or is there something here where you're holding back because, again, what we saw with the 9 of Pentacles, independence, but independence to a fault. I see water signs all around you this month. So it feels like there is an ability to love and be loved. There's an ability to go deeper in relationships. But the person around you could be in a heavier sort of place, energetically, emotionally. So giving them some time and space, letting them work that out, that's probably going to be important as well. Passion is good. Passion can get in your way. So you want to make sure that you are reading correctly the people around you. If you oversell or overshoot, that could also be an issue with the Queen of Cups. We have the Knight of Swords here in possibilities reversed. So timing is maybe frustrating for some of you. Necessary action, waiting for people to do stuff, may also be frustrating, and you might have to be the one that's taking the necessary action in your life as well. So that's another piece that's kind of like, oh, how am I going to do this? So you can do this, but you might have to take that first step on your own, right? The other thing with the Knight of Swords reversed is don't be afraid to say what you need to say. I like any of the Swords cards in this, like Knight, King, Queen, even Page reversed, because what it says is like, get to the point, say what you need to say, and see what happens next. It's not necessarily negative. So speak your mind. Knights and Pages especially are very palatable when they're reversed because it's just simply feedback, editing, a revision, almost there, do this, this, and this. So you might be receiving that, you might need to give that. So don't be afraid. That's a nice way actually to do it. Say, I think we're there. I think we're like 90% there, but we need to do this and this. I'll be happy to help you with that. That is saying you've pretty much succeeded, and that's good, but we need to change this. People can take that rather than you need to do this, but without saying the positive. So definitely let people know what they're doing right, and don't be afraid to tell them what needs to be worked upon. And if you receive that feedback yourself and someone neglects to say the positive piece, remember my message at the beginning to celebrate success and progress thus far. You can do it on your own as well. Now we have the Hermit card here reversed, which is literally coming out of your shell. And we also see like this stag or deer in the background that's kind of leaping forth. And so it's almost like the energy of the Knight that we just saw. I see a lot of movement here in your future. And I think that it's going to kick off. But right now I feel like the Hermit can be you needing to keep something under wraps. Secret well kept. And so it can be frustrating when you know you want to do something, or you know you need to, there's something better coming, but your lips are kind of sealed because of an NDA or something like that. For some of you, this is just about speaking your mind and coming out. We are in Pride Month, but Pride Month can be kind of like conveyed for all of us, because sometimes we're afraid of showing who we are and what we want to do. So if you're ready to make a career move, if you're ready to state your intent for someone that you love, or get out of a situation or contract that you don't like, these are coming out cards, basically. This is a new beginning, and this is a revelation. So definitely feel free to speak your truth with the Fool, the Hermit reversed, and the Knight of Swords reversed as well. Okay. Let me see if there's any other messages. Okay, we're going to look now at, I see a question here. What is going on? Yeah, we'll take a look at, I'll give you the exact name of this deck a little bit later. Let me just get through the reading, and before I get into the next section, I'll give you the name. It's on my website, so I'm literally just going to go to my website and look it up. All right, so let's take a look at past, present, and future influences that brought you to this moment in time. And let's see if we can kind of get a big idea. I think the catalyst for most of you is kind of your big idea, but I'll pull another card if I need to, so give me a second. Okay, so we have the Love card here. So past influences for many of you is this idea of, am I happy? The love is not just, am I in love? Do I love who I am? Do I love what I'm doing? Do I love who I'm with? And this love question for some of you is the pivotal thing that's creating this moment of, this isn't where I thought I would be, right? The Five of Cups. Maybe I need to go my own way. Maybe I need to reveal something, or maybe I learned something about myself that I didn't. Sometimes we can look back on someone, and whether it's a lover or a boss that we had to work with and it wasn't ideal, but you look back and you think, thank you, because now I know what I don't want, and now I know who I am. I feel like some of you have figured out how to be there and how to love yourself. So do you love yourself? Do you love what you're doing? Do you love who you're with? These are the big questions that are going to affect how successful you can be. When we're looking in the moment, right here and right now, we have the Freedom card, which is just like the crowning card, the Fool. If you have freedom to be yourself, then you have freedom to grow in that experience. If you don't, you also have freedom to move on. It says, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. You don't need someone else in your life to be happy, and their approval of you does not equate your happiness either. The first card also had a caption saying, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And this becomes really, really powerful at letting people go in your life. The other day I was talking to an old friend that I used to work with, and I was thinking through experiences that I had and like why I was in a certain work situation for so long. As I was taking a shower, literally kind of washing all of that out of my hair, I thought, all of that stuff was for a reason. I kind of forgive myself and everyone and all those experiences because it brought me to today, and I am free now. So when you can find that freedom, some really great things start to happen in your life. Free yourself from the past, from beating yourself up over mistakes, etc. Humor is the unexpected card here. I choose to focus on the lighter side. I would say also, I'm not talking about sarcasm. That's not it. Humor as in I can laugh. Again, I can laugh at some of the silly things that are part of being a human being on this planet, because there are different ways that you can express or kind of transmute energy. One is like if you have heavy energy, you can cry. If you have any sort of energy that you need to get out, you can sweat it out. You can also pass it through your body. So that's why drinking a lot of fluids helps us get things out. You can also laugh. So laughing and crying have a very similar kind of energy, which is why often at pivotal points in our life, we're kind of doing both. You can cry and then laugh a little at a funeral. You can be so happy that you're crying because you worked so hard and you didn't think you could get there. So I see tears and laughter kind of intermixed here. If there's a way that you can just let it out, it's going to be really, really key. So if you're feeling stressed right now, being able to kind of laugh about some of the struggle and see that it's going to be okay, it'll be really, really key. Okay. So let's let me do a quick recap of what we just talked about, and then let's see how we can get past the blocks in the next spread here. And I'm just going to pull a few less cards here because we're also coming upon the time here. So for this mini recap before we get into how to overcome the blocks, I would say many of you are at a precipice right now. Do I go or do I stay? So the way that you can think about do I go or do I stay is, does this feel good? Do I have the freedom to be myself? Am I able to smile and laugh? If all those things are yes, stay. If they're not, then try to fix whatever's wrong in that mix. Many of you are also kind of overthinking things. So we already did the work in the previous spread. This is just about taking the actions you need. You can't please everyone. It sucks, doesn't it? You can't please everyone. But it's okay because you're going to know who truly supports you and you're going to be authentic. There is a little bit of heavy energy emotionally that needs to be worked through. Laughing, crying, and talking. All of those things are going to be key. Pick the one that fits your personality type the best. Ultimately, speaking your truth, coming out and revealing what it is that you need to reveal is going to be really important. So I see an unveiling. I see a liberation energy that's coming through when it comes to these opportunities. And we did get pentacles here, but it was not where we expected it to be. So sometimes what you get paid is not enough. It has to be something that is personally fulfilling. So before I get on to the very next portion, as promised, I'm going to take a quick look at my decks here and tell you which one I was using. Normally I have it memorized, but I'm doing this sort of on the fly. So my moderator's already put this link, so I'm just literally looking at my website and I'm going to find it here. Let's see. It is Divine. I'm pretty sure it's in there. Might not be here. I think it's something with fairy tales. Hold on. I'm going to go to Amazon really quick and I'll pull it up for you. Let's see, Divine. And it's another independent one. So if I'm not going to waste any more time right now. I will put a link later on in the comments below. And it is by another independent author. So I've been trying to use some decks today that I purchased with your assistance and that support independent authors. So if it's not on my site, I'll put it up later. I don't want to waste time because we're in a live right now. So I'll just put it in the comments section below right under the time marks, okay? So don't worry about it. Just give me some time to put the links in and I'll do that later today. But usually all of these are on my website, but this one, I couldn't see it in a quick glance. So I'll add it to my deck page. I'm always expanding it like Dakota said. So just be patient with me. Okay, so let's take a look now at how to overcome blocks and how to get past this feeling of like starting again. I'm going to start with that tower question that we had. How do I kind of ease into a new beginning? So I'm going to use another new one. This one is True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True. You might recognize her from, I think she was in The Craft. So this is a cool deck as well. Another one that was suggested. Stick around until the very, very end. And oh, here, you know what? I found it. Thank you, guys. So the other one, I was right. It was Tarot of the Divine. And it's by Yoshi. I can't see the whole name here. But anyway, I'll put this on my page later, but this is what it's called, Tarot of the Divine. Okay. So I knew I had it here. And the one that I'm reading now is True Heart Intuitive Tarot. I don't normally do this, but because I'm using new ones and I didn't give it to my moderators beforehand, I'm just trying to help you out. So let's see. There you go. Okay. I was looking to see if there's any other questions. So it looks like we're good. So let's see how you can move into the energy of change, the tower, what happens after everything changes. We're just going to pull 3 cards for this, and then I'll look at some other questions. All right. So we have the Magician card here showing you that you have the ability to do whatever you set your mind to, that really your present, your past, your future, it's always in your sort of design and in your control here. So know this, your thoughts are manifesting a reality. You are able to either embrace the change or succumb to the fear associated with it. So this is saying, I choose to create, okay? Very powerful. As above, so below. So you are the mortal channel. I wrote about that in my book, The Luminous Ones. We're all the mortal channels on this planet here. We're able to do that. And this is a very powerful card. One time in a meditation, I kind of did that connection energy, kind of pulling in from above and channeling with the earth itself. And you definitely feel that you can tap into source if you do that. These aren't just cards. These aren't just images. They are sort of instructional, energetic gateways. So the Magician is powerful. If you accept the energy that I am a creative channel, then new things will come through. Say, show me, I'm ready. Show me a better path. This one didn't work. What else can I do? And it will come through. I like that we sort of see the whole universe around her, or our galaxy anyway, solar system, whatever. And you also see all the abundance around her as well. So very cool. We have the Sun card here in the center, which is saying, don't take yourself too seriously. This is ego. It can be personality, ego, charisma, solar plexus, of course. But one of the things with this is to not take oneself too seriously and not think that it's all about you or that it's happening to you. It's happening for you. And that's what we see here with all the pyramids and the sort of Eye of Horus. And if you look at the sun really close, you can see all these hands reaching out. There's literally new windows and new doors of opportunity that are opening up to you. So if you see it, it will be. Believing is seeing. If you don't believe it, you're not going to be able to see what's around you. I've talked before about when you learn something new, whether it's a word or maybe you pick up on something in the world around you, once you've learned it, you hear it everywhere, you see it everywhere, or maybe it's a historical fact and you turn on television and all of a sudden they're talking about it. It was always there, you just were not tuned into it. So this is saying I can do anything that I set my mind to. This isn't happening to me. The last year didn't happen to me. It was an experience that we all shared, and from it, I can grow. It happened for us collectively. It happened for me in these particular places. And it wasn't fun, but I'm going to get past this. And I'm going to choose to explore things that make me happy in the future. I'm going to choose happiness. I'm going to open myself up. I'm going to be sensitive. It's okay if I cry. It's okay if I kind of try something different. The Princess of Cups, Page of Cups, is very open. It's very fluid. So I'm going to let my true colors shine. I'm going to let my emotions be right there out on the table. It's going to be okay. So power to create. So you can take all of the rubble and you can rebuild. You are able to see new things when you start to look around. Don't just look at the mess in front of you. Don't just look at the mess of the year that we just got through. Look at what's possible 1 year, 2 year, 5 years from now. And that's going to be really key. And then yeah, Princess of Cups. Okay. So Princess of Cups, I choose happiness. I'm ready to receive. This is something I've said so many times this month. It'll eventually be a bumper sticker here, but I'm ready to receive love and abundance in all the highest forms. Maybe if I do merch someday, that's what I'll put on a shirt, because that's a really important mantra for all of us to have. So that's how you get past the tower. And let me just kind of pull a couple of other cards here. I'm going to use the same deck here to see if there's anything else. Collectively, what do they need to focus on? Okay, so it's really hard sometimes to look at other people that are succeeding around you and wondering, like, when is it my turn? So patience and understanding that maybe even though we might feel the energy of envy, we don't know what their challenges are. We don't know what their journey was to get them there. So how can I make peace with the timing in which this is happening? How do I not feel angry that I'm not seeing certain things happen faster for me? How can I be grateful and celebrating and happy for other people's changes, right? All right, so let's see. So we have the Three of Pentacles here, which tells me that recognition is interesting. First of all, sometimes we don't always get the recognition we deserve, but everybody gets a chance at the table here, and we see all of these people sharing. So it's really nice. Think of how nice it is to receive a congratulations, or I'm really happy for you, way to go. And a heartfelt one, like, you really deserve this, I'm so happy for you. Versus like not getting anything, knowing people feel something, but they're, so what you want to demonstrate is let go of you, let go of ego. That's actually what we saw at the beginning here. Reverse, not like to the loss of yourself, but just like in this moment, it's actually not about me. Let me empathize with this person. They've done this, they've done this, they've struggled. You know what? I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy you got to this point. When you were able to give that, remember the gratitude card that we had, or generosity card at the beginning? I said it could just be time, energy, or in this case, just saying something that you really believe. That's telling the universe, I'm happy enough for that other person. I trust one day this will happen for me. I just want to celebrate them in this moment. So not only celebrate your own success, but celebrate others. So giving the recognition where recognition is due is a nice way to ensure that when the time is right, these people will want to also say, good for you, because you were able to do it for them. Not because expressly that's the only purpose, but understanding that we all have our moment. Let's just let this person have a good time because it feels good. And it feels good to be in the smile and the sort of beaming energy of someone that's in a good place. Now, if they're bragging or if they're a little bit intense, just separate, just say, way to go, and then move on. It's still good to sort of say that way to go, though. And then focus on you. This is a card of study. So some of you may decide to go into training, go back to college, take on some sort of a new course of action. So for sure, this is a encouragement. Can you find inspiration? Because all jealousy or envy really is love in a very warped form. You look at someone and you think, gosh, that's inspirational. Gosh, that person did a good job. Why can't I do it? You can. So use that to say, gosh, they're inspirational. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to find a way. I want to better myself, or I'm inspired. So you could actually authentically say to them, you are such an inspiration. Like, this makes me want to do something better with my life. Thank you for giving me a nudge, and good for you. Good for you for doing this. That's how you say thank you to someone that makes you jealous. Say, wow, how did you do it? Like, let me in on your secret. You might get a mentor from them instead. So turn that person into a mentor, turn them into a source of inspiration, and truly lift them up in this moment. And that's going to make people around you will want to be around you more because you're more pleasant too. So if you want to invest in yourself, great. Learn from them, ask some questions, and then get back to work. And that's really what the Three of Pentacles has to say. Ace of Wands, it's been hitting us over the head today. I think it's the fourth time that it's come through, fourth time, I think. So what do you want to do? What are you thinking about? It's really about you. So get into authentically what's you. And I think that's really key. We're getting a lot of lower court cards here. We have the Prince of Pentacles here. So a Knight card coming through, which is showing me you're already on that path towards discovery, towards growth. He's riding a cow, however, on this one, or a bull. So for some of you, you may have something like Taurus in your charts. You may be a little bullheaded right now, and it's hard to kind of see where this is headed. But I like all of this. What I see here is someone that's able to bring it forth. So this is intelligence and eventual recognition. This is taking an idea and running with it. And that's literally what we see here. And I see something good in the future for you. So if you're jealous, don't be. Get inspired, get busy, and support that person because you don't know where how hard they worked, right? All right, and then let's just pull a couple wild cards before we get into the meditation, and then I'll pull one final question at the end. All right, so for the wild card, let me just pull one more here. What else is the collective struggling with at the moment? Pride. We're getting all the tough ones here. So let's look at pride. Pride isn't necessarily a bad thing. It depends how it's being expressed. Like, to take pride in what you're doing is good. So just show me what the lesson is around pride. Because in this one, it says, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. With that one, I would say, let's just look at pride. It's a complicated one. Okay, we're going to start with the star card. So the first and most important thing to do in your life is just to be authentically you. And the star card is second, like with the world, because both of them are very expressive. The nudity in tarot is not to be salacious. It's basically to say, like you would see in a Greek or Roman statue. Typically, when you look at like Aphrodite, Zeus, any of the gods, they're not going to have clothes on because they were divine. And same thing with like Garden of Eden and things like that. So what we see here is that I'm truly connected with my divine purpose. So if you are, then you should be proud of whatever you do, even if other people don't share in your opinion of what you're doing. If it was, we're actually going to show the cards here because they set up an interesting sort of story. So if we look at the first line, because they're really powerful, when we were looking at kind of how to overcome change, it was the magician. How to overcome envy, it's recognizing how this could inspire you. And then dealing with pride, it's like, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's okay. But look, I create my future, my past, my present. I work on something that is amazing and I trust in. And then from that comes recognition and joy. It's also about you here, and they're all divinely powerful cards in the past. When we look at pride in the present, we have another ace. And so we have like the baby or the birthing card here. Don't take yourself too seriously. This is a new beginning. Then we see a new idea, and then we see the Ace of Pentacles. I usually like to see wands before pentacles or swords. So cups can also come first because they're receptive or ideation cards. So now the question is, are you ready to receive? Like we've seen a few times today, the receiving end is hard. This is where pride gets in the way. This was the difference between taking that extra energy that could have come in that spread from the Nine of Pentacles, taking one of the two from the Two of Pentacles and becoming the 10, or here again being the taking this ace and going into that other one and becoming a 10. This is just saying I'm ready to receive, but for some reason you're not. So open up to receiving help, ideas, inspiration, etc. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune here in the future, but it's reversed. So sometimes things don't happen in the timing that you want them to happen. The wheel is not just money, but it's also timing. So everything in its due time. And if we look at these, the final cards, they're also very, very strong. So we went from a lot of minors here. We have a couple majors here, but to all major arcana here. Well, actually not really, because we have, these are also court cards, but they're all powerful cards. So we have Princess of Cups, Prince of Discs, and the Wheel of Fortune. So putting yourself out there emotionally, doing the work that you need to, and then allowing for things to happen in the divine timing. So just trust. I think the main thing with pride is trust and receive. If I look at it with envy, it's to be inspired. And with change, it's you're more powerful than you think. So just pick things up and create something new. Okay. All very good. Notice how today we didn't get the devil at all. We didn't get the 10 of swords at all. We did get the tower. But the tower came mostly in that last energy. And I saw a hint of it when I was reading for Virgo. So it feels to me like the tower's kind of already happened for most of us. And it's just about the aftermath of the tower. So we're going to meditate now. But before I do that, a couple of quick notes. I'm going to answer one more question. So if you've been waiting to figure out like what else, and there's some other question that you need me to look at, then just hold tight. I will answer that question right after this. Just a reminder, if you're brand new, if you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do it. I have no idea how the YouTube algorithm works after like 6 or 7 years. It's a mystery. So if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button so you can find me again. If you've already done it, you rock. If you haven't already hit thumbs up, please do that. It's a great way to stay connected. If you want to get notifications, the bell is great for that. All of these things are optional. I'm just giving you information. Thank you for all the support. Every deck that I used is something new, like the Rachel True one and this Afro Goddess deck. They're brand spanking new, like within the last month. The other one is about 6 to 8 months old, but they're all like within the last year brand new decks, and I got them through your support. This one, as you can tell, is a premium deck. Like it was a little bit more expensive, but it was something that I had my eye on for a while, and I figured we would all like. So I try to give back. So the more you give, the more I give, and it also helps me make more videos per month. I've done 3 extra ones. Go to my website for more information if you're interested in that. I'll talk more about how you can connect with me on social media afterwards. Let me go ahead and meditate right now. And I feel like today, I would like to focus on a phoenix rising from the ash, because we had that beautiful parrot that came through as your message here in the spirit totem. And I want to see how we can kind of like spread our wings. So you can imagine coming up like almost like a phoenix with all the colors of a parrot if you want to. So kind of combining the two animals into something magical. The meditation will take about 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to look at your final question. So while I'm doing this, you can kind of think about what else do I want some information on, and I'll help you with that. Okay. Close your eyes and imagine that you are sitting outside in the moments right before dawn. So you can see this beautiful sort of ring around the planet of the light that's just starting to come up. And you can see this rich sort of like midnight blue above you. And then it kind of, this gradation as it goes into lighter and lighter blues until it's almost this light blue. A few of the stars are still visible in front of you. And you can just see the very beginning of the sun starting to come through on the horizon. If you've ever been lucky enough to see sunrise, you know what I'm talking about. There's this magical moment where there's just this little pinpoint of light and then it explodes. Closing your eyes as that moment is happening, I want you to connect with your solar plexus. And if there's any part of yourself that you are feeling like this is too much, this is heavy, I want you to kind of pull it into the solar plexus, take a really deep breath, push it out. Take a few of those breaths, really inhaling and really exhaling. And then by the third or fourth breath, just slow down the breathing, relax, and feel the warmth and radiance of the sun as the rays are not only sort of touching everything on the planet for the first time, but with your eyes closed, you can feel it touching your forehead, your heart, wrapping around you like a cocoon of light. And in this moment in time, imagine that as the energy starts to wrap around your body, you can see a few rays of light start to kind of exit from your shoulder blades, creating your own wings, your own sort of capability to fly. So as you do this, allow your body to be on the planet, but see this sort of etheric version of yourself in this brilliant shade of gold, yellow, even some of the other colors in the sky, magenta, etc. See all the colors of the sky starting to form out in this etheric phoenix rising from your solar plexus, from your shoulders, and allow that bird to fly up into the sky for a moment and look at how far you've come, where you're at, and what's coming through for you next. It's going to bring forth messages for you, and it's also going to give you the strength and power that you need to get to the next point in your life. Just enjoy that meditation, that image while I play the singing bowl, and then I will pull a final card afterwards to answer your question. Take a nice deep breath. Stretch out your arms. Feel that you're almost mirroring the energy of the phoenix that's risen above you. And from your heart center, call out to that bird and allow for it to melt into your energetic body, melting into the heart, melting into the solar plexus, aligning with each one of your chakras. And feel this sort of warmth and radiance all throughout your body, and this lightness of being. We talked about the power of laughter. Well, this kind of energy came through and it lightened you as well, just energetically, melting away any of the connections from the past that no longer are suiting your current state of mind or being, because you've changed. And this is the acceptance and the recognition of the change that's happened in your life. All right, let's move along now to your final card, the final question you might have for me. And I want to use the same deck that we were using earlier because it's so pretty. So let me give this a good shuffle, and we'll see what's coming through for you. I feel like we already got one there, but I'm going to pull an extra one. So the way that I look at this is usually as a yes, no. And I'm going to kind of clarify what we just got there with the 10 of Cups with the second card, because that came out on its own. Okay, these are really good cards that came forth. So your first card with the 10 of Cups in reverse would be a yes, but with a caveat. So this is the same sort of thing that I saw with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, which is your happiness has to be not just for others, but also for you. So if you're doing what's right for you, people will come around to understand that point of view. The 10 of Cups reverse can be a delayed acceptance or celebration. Again, really appropriate for Pride and actually really great for that too. So whatever your declaration might be right now, give people time to adjust to what it is. If you're moving across country, if you're getting married, if you're getting divorced, if you're starting something new, it takes time for everyone else to get there. We talked about the Pride card earlier with celebration. Sometimes our family can't celebrate what we're doing. Let's say you're very successful in what you're doing for a living. Maybe your family wanted you to have a traditional quote unquote sort of job like lawyer, doctor, I don't know, whatever, banker. But you may be someone who is self-made. Maybe you're kind of like that technology person that I saw earlier, and you sell an app or something, and mom and dad and grandpa are like, what's an app and how does this work? If you're successful, if you continue doing what you want and find that sort of path, they'll find their way to you. And if they don't, you got a lot of people around you that do, okay? Love who you are, love what you're doing, and trust that the people that should love you the most will eventually get there, okay? But find that joy and happiness for yourself. It can't be just for others. But ultimately, 10 of Cups is an emphatic yes. If you're looking for someone, if you're looking for love in your life, again, with this card in reverse, it's saying to want and need are different. So wanting it is good. Try not to need it as much. Try to find other areas in your life that bring forth that sense of fulfillment. And that's going to be really important to you as well. Okay. We have the God of Pentacles here, which is the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is super important. And it's in the upright position. I would say it's a very strong yes for taking the power and taking the initiative. So if you believe in something, you should do it yourself. That's what I see here. Or you need to stay connected to it. Your name needs to be attached to it. You need to get some sort of residual attached to that. Don't give up something that's powerful that you've created, that you've birthed. Because this is the card that would come after the Queen of Pentacles. This is now getting ready to deliver it. So she was at the deep past position, I believe, at the very first spread. So what this is really saying is, okay, I've gone this far. Let's take it all the way, and I want to make sure that I'm a part of this. Okay. So, yes. Also, I see people like obsessing, but yes, don't obsess about whatever it is you're trying to create, because the King of Pentacles is saying, I already have that which I'm trying to bring forth. It's just taking a while to manifest it in everyday life. Okay. Really, really beautiful cards and really beautiful messages. That rainbow card that we saw in the other one, which was Rainbow Blessings, this is what's waiting at the other end. Is so if you had to give up someone or something, this is reminding you that it was this stuff at the other end is worth the journey. So sometimes sacrifice is a piece of the puzzle. So you may be this King of Pentacles right now, but what's waiting for you is some new people that get your vibe. They understand where you're trying to go. Okay. So there you go. I hope that helped you. These are very much yes cards, but just like the 10 of Cups, just like the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups is saying, you have to be happy. You have to get something back from this. And as long as that's happening, then good things await you. A couple of notes here. I did keep my links handy, so I'm going to send this out to you so you have it. If you liked what you saw here, I have another collective one that this is going to be a bonus reading that I'll be doing on, let's see here. Sorry, it's going to take a second because my hard drive is spinning up. I have a bonus reading on the last Thursday of the month. Last Friday of the month. Here we go. It's June 25th. So let me put that link out there. And then I have a end of month collective on the 27th. and you're welcome to join both of those. The bonus reading, the topic will be decided. I think this month I'm going to put maybe a list of 10 topics and have channel members and Patreon members vote on them. So I'll try to pick like 3 of the 10 based on what gets the most votes. I try to have channel members participate somehow in the bonus ones, usually in voting, or if I ask for information, I'll do like surveys and things. But the last one will be just like this. So I like to take a pulse in the middle of the month and one at the end of the month. That way, no matter where you fall in the zodiac, you can always get another reading every 2 weeks. So that's kind of how I've set that up. So feel free to join me for those too. And there were a lot of questions earlier about where to find the decks. I'm going to, today, I'll make sure that I sign off and put some more information about my decks on my website, but you can click on the link up above. And I know that both of my moderators put a link to the decks earlier, but I can type it out as well. Also, if you like what you see here and you want to give back, you can find out more about Patreon and PayPal using this link as well. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you, Dakota and Maria, for your assistance as well. And really great showing today. Always fun to see people from all over. I hope you enjoyed this. The good news is we've been through a lot, but it felt very energetically positive. Only one card of sort of movement and change, which was the Tower. Overall, very, very positive energy of growth and abundance. But the question is, are you ready? And are you ready to receive? Because there was a little bit of a pause on that sort of receiving. So I hope you are. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for your love and support. One more thing. If you enjoy reading, another way that you can give back is through my book. It's called The Luminous Ones. You can look at my website for information. It's available in hardcover, paperback, and digital formats. It's really for people that like geeky books like Lord of the Rings or Dune. So if that's your cup of tea, great. If not, then just keep showing up here, and I appreciate your presence. All right, take care, everybody. Much love and light, and I will see you back tomorrow for Libra. I'll put the link here as well. I already have it something that you can set a reminder to on my main page. So here's a link for Libra. Can't wait to see you. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of the weekend. I think Apollo's napping in the background, but he wishes you the same. All right, bye. Thank you so much.